Okay, as the chair of this group, I would like to commence this meeting with the opening speaker, David Ramsay Steele, who's going to be talking about Ayn Rand and Jordan Peterson and why both of them are the best supreme intellects we've ever seen in our lifetimes.
They're the what?
Not my lifetime.
I'm sorry, actually it's going to be a compare and contrast exercise in the two intellectuals, and if I'm wrong about that, David will correct me.
Yes, well, that's pretty close. So, about a year ago, I published an article called "The Most Evil Man in History," and there are certain people who are privileged to immediately know what that means, but then a lot of people are not so privileged. So I'll explain it. That was said by Ayn Rand of Immanuel Kant. That's one of the ways you can tell a Randist or an objectivist, as they call themselves, is that they think that Immanuel Kant was the most evil man in history. So, in that article, I actually went into what Immanuel Kant said and why it doesn't correspond to what Ayn Rand says that it said. But tonight, this is going to be in the nature of light relief. I'm not going to go into any heavy philosophy. I'm just going to talk about these two movements. So you have the Ayn Rand movement, which really got into its stride in the 1960s. And you have the Jordan Peterson movement, which was 50 years later. It really got into its stride in the 2010s. So these movements, they have certain things in common. I've made a list. They both have a leader who many people thought was infallible. They both combined a political orientation with advice on how to live your life. Each of them was associated with two best-selling books, and they weren't just best-selling; they were super-duper mega best-selling. Tens of millions of copies of the two Ayn Rand novels and the two books by Jordan Peterson. Amazing sales. They were both, of course, quickly branded as right-wing. They both have some of the qualities of a cult. They both achieved considerable success in recruiting people, gaining adherents. Thousands of people in the 60s said, Ayn Rand changed my life. And thousands of people in the 2010s said, Jordan Peterson changed my life. Both of them created a kind of subculture of people who were former members and somewhat critical, or else former members and really hated the cult in its original form. In the wake of the success of these two movements, you do get a lot of disillusioned former Randists and disillusioned former Peterson supporters. This actually brings to mind, and this is, I made some notes because I don't want to digress, but of course I can't stop myself digressing. The very first independent, in other words, non-Christian piece of evidence we have for the existence of Christianity